What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk responds to the IBF mandate of Filip Hrgovic, and this is what he had to say. Handlers of Usyk focused on Fury, not worried about the IBF order for Hrgovic. Wow. We know Usyk owns all the belts except the WBC, and he's coming off back-to-back wins off of Anthony Joshua. He wants to pursue an undisputed fight with the WBC champion Tyson Fury as early as 2023, but of course the IBF has done their mandate, and he said, "At this stage, I can anticipate that it will not influence the undisputed anyhow," Usyk's promoter Oleksandr told Sky Sports. Fury is staying busy with a voluntary defense scheduled for December 3rd against Derek Chisora at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Usyk is hoping to get Fury in the ring in the first quarter of the upcoming year. We expect his next fight to be for the undisputed, so most likely it will take place in the Middle East. However, promoter Ben Shalom of Boxer would love to help Usyk make his fights in the UK. He says, "We think his fight should be in the UK. We'd love to work with Oleksandr Usyk. And that's something that we are speaking about," Shalom said. He wants the fights in the UK. He knows that the UK is probably a very strong market. We've seen him over there many times. We'd love to have him over in the UK, really build his message and build his following, and have him on the home side because he's always coming over here, whether it's against Tony Bellew, Derek Chisora, or Anthony Joshua. I think British fans have really bought into Oleksandr Usyk and his personality over the past few years, and everything that he's done in Ukraine is inspirational as well. I think the UK can really get behind that. He can be a star in the UK. He can be the home fighter for the first time, and obviously he's the unified world champion. Okay, so basically, according to the handlers of Usyk, that they're not concerned. They're not concerned of the 30-day date. I guess they're anticipating that they can get a deal done between the 4th and the 12th, okay? Because that's the deadline. The 12th is the deadline by the IBF. So I think they're banking on the fact that when Tyson Fury beats Derek Chisora, which everyone expects him to do, then between those 8 days, okay, that fight will be done. And then they can send that off to the IBF, and then the IBF can make their decision when they get the newfound information. But me counterpunching that, I believe that Usyk, which manages Oleksandr Usyk, if he hasn't done so, should have already sent over the information that him and his side has already agreed to an undisputed match before this takes place, with the IBF all of a sudden mandating, pushing this particular fight to fruition this early, because Eddie Hearn is doing exactly what he's supposed to do again. You know what I mean? Whether that's stopping or blocking or whatever you call it, he doesn't care because it doesn't concern him anymore. Anthony Joshua's out. They're trying to rebuild him and his brand and his confidence and whatever. Okay, so Oleksandr Usyk's in. So since Oleksandr Usyk's in and Tyson Fury's in, none of those guys, not anymore, has anything to do with Eddie Hearn. So Eddie Hearn is co-promoting Filip Hrgovic, him along with Cal, right, Sauerland, and they're trying to do the best for their fighter. Point blank and period. So he's not concerned with that. But what is important, that Oleksandr Usyk, they're saying they're not really concerned with, not worried about the IBF order to Hrgovic. You know, so he's anticipating it not affecting the undisputed fight. And I think it could, but it's all up to this point Tyson Fury. Why? Why Tyson Fury? Because Tyson Fury holds all the responsibility of that fight happening or not happening. It's not Usyk anymore. And I'm at liberty to say my belief is based on the track record of Oleksandr Usyk. When he says he's already done something, he's already done it. Him and his team, look, we've done this. I'm not talking about showing up at a fucking fight. I'm talking about what they've done business-wise. Yeah, we're finished. We're done. Everything's signed, delivered. It's all on him. Okay, so I'm not necessarily worried about Oleksandr Usyk at this point. He knows who he wants to fight. That's who he wants to fight. He's done and made preparations to show people, and most importantly, to show Team Fury that they signed and they've done their side of the deal anyhow. Okay, so it's all up to Tyson Fury on what he does from the 4th versus what he does to the 11th, because the 12th is the deadline, right? So I would assume that they would have all the information sent over to the IBF on the behalf of both fighters for a total undisputed showdown, whether it's in the UK or whether it's in Saudi Arabia. More than likely it'll be in Saudi Arabia, okay? And neither fighter is a stranger of that land, you know, because we know Tyson Fury has fought there before when he fought, I think, Strohmeyer, I believe it was, the WWF wrestler guy. So he knows what it's like to be there. All right, and so does Usyk, because he just had his last fight there against Anthony Joshua. Well, he put on one hell of a performance against Joshua, despite the adjustments that Joshua made. So this is very interesting. You guys tell me what you think of Team Usyk stating that they're not even worried about Filip Hrgovic and the IBF mandate. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.